Hello and welcome to the next edition of the HP Discover podcast series. I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Inter Arbor Solutions, your host and moderator for this ongoing discussion on IT innovation and how it's making an impact on people's lives. Our next big data case study discussion examines how INOVVO delivers impactful analytical services to mobile operators to help them engender improved end-user loyalty. We'll see how advanced analytics, drawing on multiple data sources, enables INOVVO's mobile carrier customers to provide mobile users with faster, more reliable, and relevant services. To learn more about how INOVVO uses big data to make major impacts on mobile services, please join me in welcoming our guest. We're here with Joseph Khalil. He's President and CEO of INOVVO in Reston, Virginia. Welcome, Joseph.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan. I'm glad to be here.
You know, user experience and quality of service are so essential nowadays. What has been the challenge for you to gain an integrated and comprehensive view of subscribers and networks that they're on in order to uphold that expectation for user experience and quality?
Sure. As you mentioned in your intro, so we cater to the mobile telco industry. Our customers are mobile operators. We have customers in North America, in Europe, in the Asia Pacific PAC region. There are a lot of privacy concerns when you start talking about customer data, and then we are very, very sensitive to that. So the challenge, you mentioned what is the challenge, is to handle all that data, tremendous amount of data that's generated by these networks, and still maintain the privacy and adapt to all the privacy concerns, which means we have to deploy our solutions within the network of these operators. And this is a big data solution. And as you know, big data requires a lot of hardware, big infrastructure. So our challenge is how can we deploy big data with a small hardware footprint, and that's what we've been working on over the last few years, and then we have a very compelling offer now that our customers are very happy with, and leveraging partners like HP, technologies we use from HP, like HP Vertica, which helps us tremendously in reducing the size of our hardware footprint in our deployments.
Well, tell us a little bit more, if you would, about how you do that in terms of gathering that data, making sure that you adhere to privacy concerns, and at the same time can quickly, because velocity, as we know, is so important, deliver analytics back. How does that work?
Sure. We deal with a lot of number of records that are generated daily within the network. This is data coming from deep packet inspection probes that almost every operator we talk to, they have them deployed because they want to understand the user experience on their networks. These probes capture a lot of data, the click streams data, everything that happens on the devices that are on the network, they capture it. And then they relay it to us almost in a near real-time fashion. This is the velocity component. So we leverage technologies that deal with streaming data. We are now in discussion with HP about their Kafka offering, which deals with streaming data and deals with scalability issues. But currently, we do have a solution that's scalable, that can take all this data, ingests all this data, and load it into our Vertica data store. And then our challenge is not just dealing with the data velocity, it's also on the reporting side. Like our offering is a care product that's used by care organizations. So they want to know really what their customers did the last hour on the network. So there is a near real-time urgency to have this data streamed, loaded, processed, and available for reporting. And that's what our platforms offer.
And given, Joseph, that you're global in nature and that there are so many distribution points for the gathering of the data, do you bring this all into a single data center? Do you use cloud or other on-demand elements? How do you manage the centralization of that data?
We do not do cloud. We don't have cloud deployments to date. Even though our technology allows, we could deploy our software in the cloud, but again, due to privacy concerns, the customer's data, we don't want it leaving the network. We want it to stay within the operator's firewall, so we keep it all in network. And this is really the big advantage of our solution is we can host it all within that infrastructure we deploy there. So we could store data for up to 13 months. So our customers can go and see the performance of everything that's happening on the network for the last 13 months. So, and we store it at different levels. We store it at the hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. But to answer your question is we do keep it all within that infrastructure we deploy on site, and that's where all the data is centralized.
Let's look at why this is so important to your customer, the mobile carrier, the mobile operator. What is it that helps their business and benefits their business by having this data and having that speed of analysis?
Great question. So our customer care module, the subscriber analytics care, it is used by care agents. So these are the individuals that respond to when you call 611, for example. You're complaining about issues with your device or coverage or whatever the case may be. So when they are on the phone with you and they check, they put in your phone numbers, they want to be able to get the report that render under 5 seconds. So they don't want to have the customer waiting while that tool is churning, trying to generate. They want to hit go and that information come on their screen. And they want to be able to quickly determine if there is an issue or not. Is there a network issue? Is it a device issue? Is it whatever the case may be? So we give them that speed and we give them the simplicity because the data we're collecting is very complex. So we take all the complexity of it. We have our own proprietary data analysis and modeling that happens, and it happens on the fly as the data is going through the system. So when the care agents load that screen, it's right there at a glance. They can quickly determine what the case may be that's impacting the customer. And that has been demonstrated with our customer. It reduced the average call handle time, the time they spend with the customer on the phone. And for big operators, you could imagine how many calls they get every day. And shaving few minutes of each call can amount to a lot of savings in terms of dollars for them.
So in a sense, there's a force multiplier by having this analysis. Not only do you perhaps head off the problems and fix them before they become evident, which includes a better user experience, they're more happy as a customer, they stay on the network, but then also when there are problems, you can empower those people that are solving the problem, that are dealing with that customer directly to have the right information in hand.
Exactly. They have everything. We give them all the tools that's available to them to quickly, on the fly, determine how to resolve the issue that the customer is having. So that's why speed is very important for a module like care. For our marketing module, speed is still important, but not as critical as care, because now you don't have a customer waiting on the line for you to run your report to see how are my subscribers using my network? How are they using their devices and all of that? So we still want to produce reports fairly quickly in the few seconds, which is also that the platform can offer for the market.
And so those are some of the immediate and tactical benefits, but I should think that over time, as you aggregate this data, there's a strategic benefit where you can predict what demands are going to be on your networks and or what services will be more in demand than others, perhaps market by market, region by region. How does that work? How do you provide that strategic level of analysis as well?
Sure. And this is on the marketing side of our platform, the subscriber analytics marketing. It is used by the CMO organizations, by marketing analysts to understand how subscribers are using the services. For example, an operator will have different rate plans or tariff plans. They have different devices, tablets, different offerings, different applications that they're promoting. Now, how are customers using those? Before the advent of deep packet inspection probes and before the advent of big data, you're blind because this data, traditional tools couldn't get anywhere near handling the amount of data that's generated uh, by these services. So today we can look at this data and synthesize it for them so they can easily look at it, slice it, and dice it along many dimensions amongst age, gender, device type, location, time, you name it. We have all these different dimensions in the network so they could see how an analyst, a marketing analyst, could go and really ask very detailed questions and create their own segments and see how customers are using my services.
Of course, in a highly competitive environment where there's multiple carriers vying for that mobile account, the one that's first to market with those programs can have a significant advantage.
Exactly, exactly. It's what services you offer now because if we were talking 10, 15 years ago, who has the biggest coverage print as a footprint? Today, they're all, give or take, they're all equal. It's now, what are the services? What are the rate plans that meet the requirement of the subscriber base?
All right. Joseph, let's learn a little bit more about INOVVO. You recently completed purchase of ComScore's wireless solutions division. Tell us a little bit about how you've grown as a company, both organically and through acquisition, and maybe the breadth of your services beyond what we've already described.
Sure. INOVVO is a new company. We started back in May, but the business is very mature. Myself and my senior managers, we've been in this business since 2005. We started the subscriber analytics product line. Back in 2005, ComScore acquired us, and then we acquired us in 2010. And we stayed with them for about 5 years until this past May. Then ComScore decided that they want to focus more on their core business, and they decided to divest the subscriber analytics group. And myself and my senior management, we did the management buyout of the business. And ComScore, and that's how we started INOVVO. ComScore is still a key partner for us. A key component of our product is a dictionary for categorizing, classifying websites, devices, mobile apps. That's produced by ComScore. And ComScore is known as the gold standard for these types of categorization. So we have exclusive licensing rights to that to be used in our platform. So we have very close partnership relationship with ComScore. And today we offer, as far as the services that INOVVO offers, so we have the subscriber analytics product line, which is for care, for marketing, and for network. We talked a little bit about care and marketing. On the network, we help engineer. This is for the engineers, the network planners. We help them understand the utilization of their network elements and help them plan and forecast what the utilization is going to be given current trending and current utilization, and help them stay ahead of the curve so that they anticipate that this element is going to reach capacity in the next 3 months. Let's be proactive and go and have something in place so we don't know when really we run out of capacity. So we give them the tools to really help them with that planning.
And given that platform and technology providers like HP are enabling you to handle streaming, real-time, highly voluminous amounts of data, where do you see your services going next? It occurs to me that more than just mobile devices will be on these networks. Perhaps we're moving towards the Internet of Things. We're looking more towards people replacing other networks with their mobile network for entertainment and other aspects of their personal and business lives. At that packet level where you examine this traffic, it seems to me that you can offer more services to more people in the fairly near future.
Yes, the Internet of Things is big, and it's becoming now it's showing on everybody's radar. And so so we have two paths that we are pursuing on our roadmaps and our future offerings are There's the technology component to it, and that's why HP is key partner for us. We believe in all their big data components that they offer. And the other component for us is the data science component and data analysis. And really the innovation is going to be in the type of modeling techniques that are going to be used to help, in our case, our customers, the mobile operators. But moving down the road, there could be other beneficiaries of that data also. That people, for example, that are deploying the sensors that are generating the data. I'm sure they want to know, they want some feedback on all the data that the sensors are generating. So we have all the building blocks now to really keep expanding what we have and start getting into those advanced analysis, advanced methodologies, predictive modeling. These are the areas, and this is where we see really our core expertise is because we understand this data. Today, you see a lot of platforms showing up that says, "Give me your data, and I'll show you what it is." But there is a component that you have to understand, really know what is this data is about, and this is our core expertise.
Well, great. Before we finish up, I'd like to perhaps ask you about lessons learned that you might share with others. For those organizations that are grappling with the need for near real-time analytics with massive amounts of data, having a tremendous amount of data available to them, maybe it's on a network, maybe it's in a different environment. Any 2020 hindsight that you might offer in terms of how to make the best use of big data and monetize it?
Sure. There's a lot of confusion in the industry today about big data. What is big data and what do I need for big data? And you hear the terms Hadoop. I've deployed a Hadoop cluster, so I've solved my big data needs. And you would hear that, like you would ask people, what's your big data strategy? Well, we deployed Hadoop. Well, then what are you doing with Hadoop? Well, how are you accessing the data? How are you reporting on the data? So my advice is it's a new field. Everybody is excited about it. Everybody wants to really have strategy to use big data. And there are multiple components to it. Now, we offer a key component to it. We don't pitch ourselves to our customers to say, we are your big data solution for everything you have. There is an underlying framework that they have to deploy, which Hadoop is one of them. There are other components. And then our piece sits on top that really feeds from all the data. Because they have in our industry, a typical operator has hundreds, if not thousands, of data silos that exist in their organization. So you need framework to really put it hosted, and Hadoop could be one of them. Then you need a higher level reporting layer, an analytical layer that really can start combining these data silos and making sense of it and bringing value to the organization. So it's a complete strategy of big data, of how to handle big data.
And that analytics layer, that's what HP Vertica is doing for you.
That's exactly. HP is a key component. It's a key component of what we do in our analytical layer. And that's what we tell. There is a misconception when we go talk to our customers, say, oh, you're using your Vertica as our big data store. And we say that's not, no, we are not. The big data store is a lower level. And we are an analytical layer that we're not going to keep everything. We're going to look at all your data and throw away a lot of it and just keep what you really need and then synthesize it to be modeled and reported.
Well, very good. I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there. We've been exploring how INOVVO delivers impactful analytical services to mobile operators so they can foster improved end-user loyalty. And we've identified how advanced analytics, drawing on multiple data sources, provides a better network quality assurance and, of course, that all-important better user experience. So thank me in joining our guest. We've been here with Joseph Khalil, President and CEO of INOVVO in Reston, Virginia. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Dan.
And a big thank you as well to our audience for joining us for this Big Data Innovation Case Study discussion. I'm Dana Gardner, Principal Analyst at Inter Arbor Solutions, your host for this ongoing series of HP-sponsored discussions. Thanks again for listening, and do come back next time.